I'd just finished work, sitting at my laptop like always. Remote work 3 days a week now. It's not a bad setup. More time for Adam and Sophie. I liked the rhythm of it, the quiet, the space. Just under 2 hours before Adam came home. About 90 minutes before Sophie walked in from school. But my body was already buzzing. I knew what I was about to do. It was go time. Still couldn't believe I'd agreed to this. I rushed to the shower, careful not to mess up my hair. My heart thudded in my chest so loud I could hear it echo off the tiles. What the hell was I doing? How did I let Michael talk me into this? A one-on-one cam show. Not just flirting, not just words, live, real, raw. We'd kept in touch since he left our office 6 months ago. It started innocent. Facebook comments, then WhatsApp. Jokes turned into flirty exchanges, then dirty ones. I never said anything about Adam. He never mentioned his wife. Maybe that made it feel safer. Or maybe it made it worse. I didn't ask questions. Neither did he. The unspoken line we crossed stayed unacknowledged, and that made it hotter. Michael asked for pictures, explicit ones. I never sent any. It was my work phone. But he sent plenty. Full shots, dirty, confident. He wasn't shy. But it wasn't the photos. It was his voice. The way he talked to me. Like he saw parts of me no one else did anymore. I got out of the shower, dried off, threw on a little makeup. Not much. Just enough to feel like someone who wanted to be seen. I wrapped myself in my white robe, the soft one Adam gave me last Christmas, and walked back into my office. I adjusted the webcam, wiped my browser history, set up a private room. My fingers shook as I clicked on the call. The screen lit up. "Hey, Angel," Michael said, grinning. "You look good, better than I imagined." I smiled, cheeks hot. "I can't believe we're really doing this. I'm freaking out," I said, holding up my hands. "Look, they're shaking." "That's hot," he said, voice low. "But damn, it's not fair. I'm half undressed and you're all covered up. Open the robe, babe. Let me see." I bit my lip, tilted my head back, let my hand trail down the front of the robe. Slowly, teasing. I pulled it open just enough to share some goodies. He groaned, eyes glued to the screen. His hand moved out of frame. He was into it, completely. "Stand up, Samantha," he said. "Let me see everything." I hesitated for a second, then pushed back my chair, stood up, turned around. I swayed my hips a little, lifted the robe to show my bare behind. "Like that?" "Yeah," he whispered. "Now bend over, spread it." "Nope," I teased, sitting back down, dropping the robe but keeping it open in front, my legs pressed together. "You're not getting the full show that easy." "You're killing me," he said, laughing. Such a tease. We were about to move forward and then everything exploded. My chair jerked back like it had been punched. I grabbed the arms, heart slamming into my ribs. Confused. Half a second of not understanding. Then came the voice. "Well, look who's got her legs spread for some loser." I froze, blood iced in my veins. Adam. He was behind me, one hand gripping the back of my chair like he meant to rip it apart, the other holding my laptop like it was something rotten. He stepped around right into the camera's view, face twisted, eyes full of fire. "You like this, huh?" he growled. "You get off being some cam hooker for Captain Pecker Pick?" "Adam," I croaked, panic and shame crashing over me. He leaned into the webcam. "Enjoy it while it lasts, you limp dick piece of crap," he spat, then hurled the laptop across the room. It smashed against the wall. Plastic and glass flew. The screen cracked in half. My chair tipped backward. I hit the floor. Robe wide open, legs up, exposed, humiliated. "You disgusting pig," Adam thundered. "In our home? While our daughter's at school? You couldn't even wait until I was dead?" I scrambled to my feet, trying to close the robe. "Please, Adam, I can explain." "Explain what?" he shouted. "That you're a thirsty little cheat who gets wet from compliments and catcalls? Don't even try, Samantha." He turned to leave. "Adam, wait. Please," I begged. He spun back. Lock the damn door next time, genius. Maybe then your sad little porn fantasy wouldn't have blown up in your face. He stormed out. I ran to the front door, barefoot. He was already backing out of the driveway, taillights disappearing down the block. Oh God, I whispered, shaking. Why didn't I lock the door? I collapsed onto the kitchen floor, pulled my phone from the counter, dialed. No answer, texted, nothing. I looked at the clock. Sophie would be home any second. My heart felt like it was trying to claw its way out of my chest. I had to get it together. Fast. I wiped my face, threw on sweatpants and a baggy tee. Just as I came out of the bathroom, I heard the front door. "Mom, I'm home!" Sophie's voice rang through the hall. I met her halfway down the stairs. She stopped short. "Mom? Are you okay? Your eyes are red." "I'm fine, sweetie. Just tired. Not feeling great." "You want to lie down? I can make tea." "That'd be lovely. Thanks, baby." I curled up on the couch, wrapped in a throw blanket. My chest ached like it might split open. What the hell did I just do? What if Sophie ever found out? "Here's your tea," Sophie said, handing me the mug. "You look beat. Want me to text Dad? Ask for pizza?" Before I could answer, she was already typing. "Dad says he'll bring pizza," she said a moment later. I blinked. He answered her, but not me. Did he block me? At least he was coming home. But then what? He wouldn't say a word in front of Sophie. I knew that. But after, I had no idea what was coming. I got up and walked into my office. The wrecked laptop still lay on the floor, split open like a broken promise. I picked up the biggest piece, tossed it in the garage trash, then came back with a broom and dustpan, swept up the rest. I set my chair back up. There was a hole in the drywall where it had hit. If Sophie saw it, she'd ask questions. I slid the filing cabinet over just enough to cover it. Then I heard the front door open. "Hey, Dad, how was your day? Do I have homework tonight?" Sophie chirped from the kitchen. "A little," Adam said. "But thanks for texting me. You hungry?" "Yeah," she said. "Thanks for the pizza. Mom's not feeling good." "Why don't you take your pizza upstairs?" Adam said. "Get a head start on homework. Later, we'll watch something." "Okay, sounds great," she said. I ducked into the bathroom, checked the mirror. Red eyes, pale skin. I looked like a ghost. I headed to the kitchen. Nobody was there. The pizza box sat on the counter, still closed. I lifted the lid and stared at it. No appetite. From the basement, I heard the TV. I took a deep breath, then stepped quietly down the stairs. Adam sat on the couch staring at the screen, his back to me like I didn't exist. I eased around and sat on the far end of the sofa, left a little space between us. My voice came out broken. "Adam, can we talk?" He didn't look at me. Just grabbed the remote, clicked off the TV, and turned, slow and deliberate. His face was a mask, jaw locked, eyes glossy, but not soft. Just rage held in check. "Adam, I know you must feel—" "Don't," he cut in, voice like ice. "Don't you dare start with 'I know how you feel.' You don't know a damn thing." I flinched. He didn't raise his voice, but it hit harder than a scream. "You think a couple of tears and a shaky voice are going to fix this?" he said. "You think if you say you're sorry, I'm just supposed to forget that I walked in on my wife putting on a live show for some random jackass?" He rubbed his face like he was trying to wipe me out of existence. "I trusted you," he hissed. "I was a fool." "I didn't mean to—" "Of course you didn't mean to," he snapped. "That's the problem. You never mean to. You just do, and the rest of us get to pick up the pieces." I didn't move. Tears fell, but I didn't wipe them. He leaned forward, elbows on his knees, staring at the floor. "I need space," he said. "I'll talk when I'm ready. Right now I can't even stand the sound of your voice." He stood and walked out. I ran to the bedroom, curled up under the covers, and cried until my chest hurt. Oh. A minute later, Sophie peeked in. "Mom, you okay? Should I call Dad?" "No, baby," I whispered. "I'm okay, just tired." "All right," she said softly. "I'll go watch a movie with him." That night, I didn't sleep. just stared at the ceiling, listening to the silence, the weight of everything I'd done pressing down on me like a stone. Morning came, but I didn't feel it. I was still curled in bed, the same position I'd collapsed into hours earlier. The alarm buzzed. I didn't move. Sophie knocked once, then peeked in. "Mom." I turned slightly. "Yeah, baby?" "You want me to make my own breakfast?" I sat up slowly. "No, honey, I'll be right there." She nodded and disappeared down the hall. I threw on my robe, brushed my teeth, washed my face, and stared at myself in the mirror. My eyes were puffy, skin pale. I looked wrecked. Because I was. In the kitchen, Sophie was already halfway through a bowl of cereal. I poured her some juice, sat down, and tried to act normal. "Did you and Dad watch the movie last night?" I asked. She nodded. "Yeah, we watched Blade Runner 2049. It was so cool. You should have seen it." I smiled. "Maybe next time." She shrugged. "Then I went to bed and Dad watched sports." I blinked. "He stayed up?" "Yeah. He was still on the couch when I fell asleep." "So, he never came upstairs." I packed her lunch, kissed her forehead, and opened the door. "Have a good day, sweetheart." "You too, Mom." As soon as she rounded the corner, I closed the door and leaned against it, exhaling shakily. The silence in the house was deafening. I walked into the kitchen. The pizza box was in the fridge. Coffee was fresh. Adam had made it. I poured a cup, sat at the island, and stared at the wall. Then I picked up my phone, hands trembling. "Forgive me. I love you. Thanks for the coffee. Have a good day at work." Sent. But had he even left for work? I hadn't heard the shower. No sign of clean clothes missing. I wasn't sure of anything anymore. I took my time getting ready. I had to be in the office. Deadlines didn't care about personal disasters. I chose a plain blouse, gray slacks, and flats. No makeup, no perfume. I didn't want to be noticed. Before leaving, I bent down and picked up the last piece of shattered laptop screen from behind the chair. I tossed it in the trash, wiped my face, and headed out. Work was chaos. That helped. Emails, reports, Slack pings. Katie asked if I wanted to grab lunch, but I made an excuse. I couldn't fake smiles right now. Around noon, my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number. I answered anyway, hoping, stupidly, it was Adam calling from a different line. "Samantha?" My stomach dropped. "Michael?" "Yeah, are you okay? I couldn't reach you online. I don't have your cell. I've been freaking out." I recoiled, holding the phone away like it burned. Then I brought it back, voice sharp, cold. "Michael, don't ever call me again. Don't text. Don't reach out, ever." "Samantha, wait." I hung up, ran to the bathroom, locked the door, cried so hard I couldn't breathe. When I calmed down, I washed my face, reapplied lip balm, and went back to my desk. I didn't tell anyone what happened, just worked, just drowned. That night, I stopped at the grocery store. Chicken, tomatoes, fresh basil, Adam's favorite, chicken parm. I hadn't eaten in nearly 2 days. When I got home, I unpacked the groceries in silence. Sophie was upstairs, probably doing homework. I started cooking, tasted the sauce, adjusted the spices, breaded the chicken, preheated the oven. Then I ran upstairs to freshen up. As I passed the bathroom, I noticed his towel was still damp. His clothes from yesterday still on the floor. Maybe he had come back after we left. Or maybe he never left at all. He was dodging me. Sophie came down, all smiles. "Mom, I got an A on my math test." I hugged her tight. "I'm so proud of you. I bet Dad will be too." She beamed. Her joy lifted me for a second. Just a second. Dinner was ready. Still no Adam. "Where's Dad?" she asked, poking at her pasta. "He's probably running late," I said, forcing a smile. She pulled out her phone, texted him. A moment later, she looked up. "He says to keep his plate warm. He'll be home in 30. Then her eyes narrowed. "Are you and Dad fighting?" I hesitated. "Not really. We're just working through something." She nodded slowly, not really buying it, but not pressing either. When Adam walked in, he was holding a bag from the electronics store. "Dad, what's that?" Sophie asked. "A new laptop," he said flatly, "to replace your mom's." I blinked. He set the box on the kitchen island and opened it. "It's a family laptop now. Your mom can work right here, in the open. No secrets." Each word was a scalpel. Sophie nodded. "Okay, I've got my tablet anyway." She went upstairs. I brought Adam his warmed plate. He ate while setting up the laptop. "You eat?" he asked without looking at me. "A few bites, not really hungry." "Adam," I said softly, "can we talk?" "Give me an hour," he said, "then we'll talk." "Okay, I'll leave you alone. I'm going to take a bath, then I'll make tea." He didn't answer, just shrugged. Upstairs, I ran the bath. Lavender oil. Tried to breathe through the tightness in my chest. Checked on Sophie. "You need the bathroom before I get in?" She looked up. "Is everything okay?" "Yes, baby. All good." After the bath, I made 2 mugs of tea. His plate was gone. Dishes in the washer. The laptop glowed softly on the counter. I carried the tea downstairs. He was on the couch, same posture, just watching the TV like the world didn't exist. I sat beside him, not too close. Set the mugs down. He didn't look at me. "I don't even remember what we're watching," I said quietly. He clicked off the TV with a sharp snap, turned toward me. His eyes were dark, dead, but something burned behind them. "You know what, Samantha?" he said, voice low. "I don't owe you a damn thing, not a word, not an answer. But I'm going to do you a favor anyway." I froze. "I'm going to tell you what I know, some of it. The rest, I'm saving, for when I catch you lying." My hands clenched in my lap. My throat closed up. He leaned back, crossed his arms like a judge. "Sunday night, Sophie was sick. Remember that?" I nodded. "You ran upstairs, took her to the bathroom. I changed the sheets, tried to be helpful, supportive, quiet. I wanted to speak, but I didn't dare. As I came back down, your office door was open. In all the chaos, you forgot to shut the laptop." My heart stopped. Big old dick pic front and center, real classy. That what gets you going now? Some loser flashing himself on WhatsApp? I shook my head. "Don't speak," he snapped. "Not until I say." I swallowed my breath. "You called me upstairs once she was settled, told me she should sleep in our bed and I should take her room. Know what I thought? I thought, I can't even look at this woman in my bed. Not that night, maybe never again." He paused, let it sink in. "You asked for water, I brought it. Then I went back down to your computer, saved everything, every message, every emoji, flash drive. Done." I sobbed. "Please, please, don't." "When you passed out, I kept digging. Facebook trash. Work phone was useless, but the laptop, a gold mine, including that little videography project you were starting." Cute. He breathed in deep. "So I came home early yesterday. Thought I might walk in on you mid-show, but nah. Curtain had already dropped." I covered my face. He didn't stop. "I also found out plenty about your boy, Michael. He's not—" "Shut it," he barked. I swallowed hard. "Sweet wife, 2 kids, family photos all over Facebook. Real slice of suburban bliss. Guess what? I got her email. Number Adam, please. If I send her everything, his life is over, just like ours." I dropped to my knees, sobbing. "Please, don't leave me. Let me explain." "Lower your damn voice," he hissed. "You want Sophie to hear this?" I nodded. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet." He folded his arms. "Your turn. Talk. But one lie. Just one. And I send those messages out before you even finish talking." I nodded. "Okay. I'm sorry, Adam. It started months ago. Michael used to work with us. He flirted. I ignored it. Then he left the state. Said we should stay in touch. We swapped Facebooks. It felt harmless. He rolled his eyes. We moved to WhatsApp. He said his wife checks his Facebook. I didn't think twice. That's when it got flirty, then graphic. Did you give him your number? Number, I never saw him in person. It was just messages. Talking. Then he asked for photos. I said no. But I didn't stop the conversations. Then came the video calls. I was sobbing now. I thought it wasn't real, that it didn't count, but it was cheating. I know that now. I gave him a piece of me, and I hate myself for it. Adam stood slowly, towering. You gave him what was mine, he said. You let some clown touch himself while you paraded yourself for him. You spit on everything we built. He stepped back. You made me a joke. I was the idiot husband while you played camgirl in my house. I'm sorry, I whispered. So sorry. I'm not leaving, not yet. But that laptop stays out here, phone too, right here on the counter. No passwords, no sneaky crap. Got it? I nodded. Yes. And tomorrow morning we're going to your office. I want to see what's on your work computer before your boss shows up. There's nothing, I promise. Oh, and guess what? Michael called me, tried to talk. I told him to go screw himself. My jaw dropped. He what? He hung up, probably pissing himself now. Adam, please don't do anything crazy. Sophie needs you. He stared at me, then looked away. We'll talk more tomorrow. I'm sleeping in the basement. Just then, we both froze. Sophie's voice called from upstairs. Mom? Dad? You watching TV down there? I scrambled to shut off the lamp. Yeah, sweetie, we're heading up. She came bouncing down the stairs, flopped on the couch between us like nothing was wrong. What are we watching? She asked. None of us answered. We just sat there, 3 people in a house that used to feel like home. The next morning felt like walking through fog. I rose before the alarm and padded downstairs in slippers. Coffee was already brewing. Adam was gone. I didn't hear him leave, didn't hear the shower, but the fresh pot told me enough. He'd been here, maybe watched me sleep, maybe not. I poured myself a cup, took a sip, and winced. Too bitter, too strong, just like everything between us. Sophie came down in her pajamas, rubbing her eyes. Morning, Mom. Morning, baby. You sleep okay? Yeah, but I heard you and Dad talking last night. Then it got quiet. My stomach dropped. What did you hear? Nothing really, just that you were talking. She grabbed cereal from the pantry. You two fightin'? I hesitated. We're working some things out, but we love you very much, okay? She nodded, unsuspicious. I know. I made her lunch, kissed her cheek, and watched her walk to the bus stop. As soon as she disappeared around the corner, I sat down at the island and stared into my coffee. Still no text from Adam. Still no clue if he'd even slept last night. I looked at the new laptop sitting on the counter. It glowed softly like a silent threat. I opened it. No password. Was this a test? I logged in, created a new work folder, checked my email, tried to focus. 20 minutes passed, then a ping. New message, Adam. Working from home today. We'll go to your office tomorrow. Don't touch your work computer until then. I typed back, okay, I haven't touched it. I'll wait. Thank you for the coffee. No response. By mid-afternoon, I couldn't take it anymore. I searched marriage therapists near me and found a woman named Margaret Nolan. Her profile photo was warm, kind eyes. I booked the earliest appointment, Thursday afternoon. I stared at the confirmation screen, wondering if Adam would agree to come. Then I remembered I had no right to ask for anything. That night, Sophie came home beaming. Guess what? I got a 95 on my science quiz. I hugged her. That's amazing. You're killing it this week. She laughed. Dad's gonna be proud. I'm sure he will be. She sat at the table, pulling out her tablet. Can I have a friend over this weekend? Megan? Sure. Let me talk to Dad first. You know the basement's his space right now. She nodded. Okay. Dinner was leftovers. We sat at the table, just the two of us. I texted Adam to let him know food was in the oven. No reply. Sophie pulled out her phone. I'll text him. A moment later, she looked up. He says thanks. The words stung more than they should have. He responded to her. Not me. Later, while Sophie finished homework upstairs, I sat in the living room, folding laundry. The house felt lonelier than ever. I heard the front door open and footsteps down the basement stairs. Adam was home. I didn't go to him. He didn't come to me. The next day, we both went into the office. I arrived early, habit, but Adam was already there. He stood outside my building, arms folded. When I walked up, my hands went cold. You think I forgot? He asked. No, I said quietly. Let's go. We walked in together. My face burned. I felt like everyone could see the shame crawling over my skin. At my desk, I sat down and opened my work laptop, typed my password slowly, saying it aloud so he could hear. There you go, I haven't erased anything. He didn't respond, just stared at the screen, then at me, not with suspicion, with something worse, disgust. He turned and walked out. I sat there, throat tight, staring at my inbox. Then I broke, cried quietly into my hands. Katie walked by and paused. Samantha, you okay? I nodded too quickly. Yeah, just a rough morning. She crouched beside me. You want to take a walk? Coffee? I nodded again, this time slower. We sat in the break room with vending machine tea. You don't have to tell me, Katie said, but just so you know, I'm here. I swallowed. Adam and I were going through something bad. She nodded slowly. Okay. Anything I can do? Just this. Just sitting here. We talked about nothing after that. Office gossip, her wedding plans. It helped. That night back home, I called my mom. Can Sophie stay over Friday night? I asked. Adam and I need to talk. She paused. Of course, honey. Everything okay? I'll explain later. I didn't want her in the middle of this. After dinner, I told Sophie, we're going to Grandma's for dinner tomorrow. You'll stay there overnight. Dad and I need to have a talk. She studied me. Are you sure everything's okay? I nodded. Yes, sweetheart. She didn't fully believe me, but she didn't argue either. Friday evening, we dropped her off at my parents' house. The smell of pasta hit us the moment the door opened. Comfort food. My mom hugged Sophie. My dad gave me a long look, but didn't ask questions. On the drive back, I stared out the window. Did you tell your mom anything? I asked. No, Adam said. That's between us. We pulled into the driveway. His car was already there. He must have driven separately after work. Inside, he was already at the counter, the new laptop open. Samantha, he said without looking up. Sit down. I did. Log into everything, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, right now, and start disconnecting every contact in front of me. My hands shook as I obeyed. Each click felt like a confession. He stood and poured 2 glasses of wine. Not full. Just enough. Here, he said, sliding one toward me. Now shut up and let me talk. I nodded. I took a few days off, needed to think. I saw a lawyer. My heart stopped. I filed for separation, told him I was done. I opened my mouth, but he raised a finger. Don't. You had your turn when you were moaning for Captain Jackoff. I swallowed hard, tears already burning. I looked at everything, every message, every photo. You know what I kept asking myself? Was I not enough? Did I stop mattering to you? He stared at me like I was a stranger. You showed your body to another man, Samantha. That body you swore was mine. You gave it away like it was nothing. I choked on a sob. I was stupid. I thought it didn't count. But it did. It does. I was proud to be your husband, he said. I bragged about you, and you trashed that for a fantasy. I said nothing, just cried. He softened a fraction. I haven't sent the paperwork. Yet. I'm thinking. That's all. I looked up. Thank you. We're not doing anything physical. Not sharing a room. Not until I figure out what I want. You don't get to play the victim in this. Not with Sophie. Not with your parents. You don't need to confess everything, but don't paint me as the bad guy. I never would. Also, he added, I sent a sample of your chats to Michael's wife. Just enough. She deserves to know. I gasped. Oh my God. Don't worry, I didn't blow up his life, just lit a match. What happens now? That's on him. I swear, Adam, he's gone. I blocked him. I'll go to therapy. I'll do anything. Good, he said. You need it. He stood, walked toward the hallway, then turned back. We're talking to Sophie tomorrow, together. Just enough so she knows we need space, but that she's loved. Always. I nodded. Okay. And this isn't forgiveness, he warned. This is damage control. For her. I understand. He walked down to the basement. I stayed at the table, fingertips pressed to the wine glass. I hadn't touched it. That night, I didn't sleep. My mind looped the same questions. How did I get here? How did I let this happen? Saturday morning, I made breakfast, bacon, eggs, coffee. Adam came up, sat down, ate in silence. I'll do dishes, I said. Start laundry. I'll fix the hole in your office wall, he said, before we get Sophie. I nodded. Thank you. He didn't look at me. Later, we picked up Sophie from my parents' house. She was all sunshine and excitement. My mom gave me a long hug, didn't say a word. In the car, Adam said, we should talk to her now. We had rehearsed what to say. Adam did most of the talking. Your mom and I are working through something, he said. We're going to be in separate rooms for a while, but we both love you. That never changes. Sophie didn't say much, just nodded. When we got home, she went straight to her room. I knocked on the door an hour later. Sophie, can I come in? No answer. I opened it. She was face down on the bed, crying. I sat beside her, pulled her into my arms. I messed up, baby, I whispered. Big time. But I'm trying to fix it. And Daddy loves you, no matter what. She nodded into my chest. I'll give you space, I said. Come down when you're ready. That night, we went grocery shopping. Sophie insisted all three of us go. She bounced between us, chatting about food, random nonsense. Adam stayed kind with her, but cold to me, polite, flat. It hurt, and it showed on Sophie's face too. Back home, Adam went to the basement. Sophie and I made cookies. She perked up again, but I could see it. She was watching us both, closely. Sunday morning, Margaret finally replied to my appointment request. Looking forward to seeing you Thursday. I texted Adam, I booked therapy. Thursday at 4:30. Her name's Margaret. I'll go alone unless you want to join. A few hours later, he replied, I'll come to one. We'll see after that. It wasn't a peace treaty, but it was something. Thursday arrived like a heavy breath I couldn't expel. I spent the day watching the clock, rereading my own text to Adam, wondering if he'd show. 4:21 p.m. I sat in my car outside the therapist's office, keys in hand. The engine hummed. My stomach turned. Then, from the corner of my eye, I saw his car pull into the lot. Adam was here. He stepped out, wearing that same gray button-down he'd worn on our 3rd anniversary. I remembered because I'd spilled wine on the sleeve that night, and he hadn't even flinched. Just laughed and kissed me. That felt like 1,000 years ago. We walked in together, silent. The receptionist smiled and gestured to the waiting area. We sat 1 seat apart. A safe gap, not too close, not too far. Then the door opened. Samantha? Adam? I'm Margaret. Come on in. She was older than I expected, probably late 50s. Gray streaks in her hair, soft lines around her eyes, but something solid in her presence. She smiled gently, motioning to the round table in the center of the room. No desk, no barriers. "Let's start with you, Adam," she said. "Then I'll speak with Samantha." He looked at me once, then followed her in. I waited. The minutes dragged. I stared at the carpet, the framed artwork, the clock. When the door opened again, Adam walked past me without a word. I stood, legs shaking, and entered the room. Margaret gestured for me to sit. "Thank you for booking the session," she said. "Let's talk about where things began." I didn't hold back. I told her everything. The flirting, the messages, the illusion of harmlessness, the crash when it all shattered. She listened without judgment, just took it in. "I felt invisible," I said. "Not because of Adam. He was always steady. But I think I started fading from myself. And when Michael noticed me, it felt like being lit up again." "Did you feel guilty?" she asked. "God, yes. Even before it all blew up. I knew it was wrong, but I kept telling myself it wasn't real." "Reality doesn't begin and end with physical contact," she said. "Emotional betrayal cuts just as deep, sometimes deeper." I nodded, tears pooling. He sees me differently now, like I'm a stranger. "Because right now, you are," Margaret said gently. "But strangers can become familiar again, with time, if you both want that." When I left the room, Adam had already gone to the car. I followed, heart pounding. "Hey." He paused beside the driver's door. "Thanks for coming." He nodded. "How was it?" "Hard, but good, helpful." He looked at me, eyes unreadable. "I'm cooking tonight. You pick up Sophie. I'll start dinner." I blinked. "Okay." It was the first time in weeks he'd offered to cook. At home, the kitchen smelled like garlic and rosemary, roast chicken, roasted root vegetables. It was the kind of meal he made when he was trying to show love without saying it. Sophie bounced in behind me. Smells amazing. Dad, you cooked?" "Yep," he said. "Go wash up. Dinner in 10. She ran off. I set the table, quietly, carefully. We ate together, as a family. Sophie talked the whole time, filling the silence with school stories and jokes she'd heard online. Adam laughed at a few. I smiled when I could. After dinner, Sophie helped clear the table. Adam washed. I dried. When she went to her room, I stayed behind, wiping down the counters. "Therapy again next week?" he asked. "Yes. Same time." He nodded. "I'll come." I looked at him, heart thudding. "Thank you." He didn't answer, just walked downstairs. The next few days passed without explosions. No screaming, no slammed doors, just quiet. We were two people sharing a house, co-parenting, coexisting. But then Sunday came. I was folding laundry when Sophie burst into tears at the kitchen table. Adam and I rushed over. "What happened?" I asked, heart racing. She wiped her face. "I don't know what you did, Mom, but Dad's different. He's cold. He barely talks to you. You cry when we talk. I hear you." Adam looked stunned. "I don't want you to be this sad," she sobbed. I hugged her tight. "Sweetheart, we're working on it. It's not your job to fix this, okay?" She nodded, still crying. Adam placed a hand on her back. "We love you so much, Sophie, no matter what. You're not the reason for anything." "But I miss when we were happy," she whispered. So did I. So did Adam, I think. That evening, I found Adam downstairs watching something on TV. I sat on the far end of the couch. After a few minutes, Sophie came down and plopped between us. "Can we watch a movie together?" "All of us?" We agreed. Watch some animated adventure I barely followed. But I didn't care, because for an hour and a half, we were close again. When it ended, I stood, stretched. "Okay, bedtime, kiddo." Sophie yawned. "Fine, but only because I'm tired." She went upstairs. I lingered. "Adam?" He looked over. "Thank you for being kind to her, for not shutting her out." She didn't do anything wrong, he said. I nodded. I know. I'll sleep in the basement tonight, he added, standing. I hesitated. Can I ask something? He paused. Will you sleep in our bed? Not for anything, just... I don't want to be alone. He considered it, then shook his head. I'm not ready, but I'll leave the door open. If you need me, I'll hear you. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was something. Monday morning, I woke to the smell of bacon and coffee. Adam was already dressed, sipping from his mug. I sat down, still in my robe. Thank you, I said. He nodded, not looking at me. I'll do dishes, I offered. I'll fix the office wall, he said, before Sophie gets home. He left for work without another word. Tuesday, Margaret texted. Looking forward to seeing you both Thursday. I replied, we'll be there. Thank you. That night, I made roast beef for dinner. Sophie chatted. Adam ate in silence. After, I cleaned up while he disappeared again. Thursday came, session 2. Margaret had us both come in together this time. She asked how the week had gone. Adam spoke first. Quiet. No fights. No big changes. I'm still not sleeping upstairs. Any progress? He paused. We're talking. A little. I'm not as angry. Margaret nodded. Still hurt? He nodded. She looked at me. And you? I'm trying, I said. I'm doing everything I can. I just don't know if it's enough. Margaret leaned forward. Let's talk about the emotional side, she said. Not just the betrayal, but the loneliness that crept in before it. We both listened. She explained how women often feel unseen before they act out emotionally. How men often feel disrespected, even when they don't say it. She looked at Adam. Did you feel respected? He hesitated. I felt invisible. And you? She asked me. I felt ignored, not unloved, just faded. Margaret stood, poured herself tea. Let's do a little homework, she said. Tonight, praise each other. One genuine compliment. Something specific, not general. Something only you would notice. Adam raised an eyebrow. Just one? She smiled. Start small. That night, we sat on the couch, Sophie upstairs. Silence stretched. Your roast beef was perfect, Adam said. The carrots weren't mushy like mine always are. I laughed. Thank you. He turned to me. You twitch your nose when you're nervous. I always liked that. It's cute. I blinked. You remembered? Of course. I swallowed a tear. Your arms. I always felt safe in them, even when we fought. Your hugs were the one place I could breathe. His eyes softened. Just a little. Friday night, Sophie had a sleepover. I poured wine, wore the black dress Adam once said made me look like trouble. He came home and stopped in the doorway. That the dress from our anniversary? Yeah. You look amazing. Thanks. We ate dinner, talked a little. He didn't laugh much, but he smiled once. After, I followed him to the living room. Adam, He turned. I stepped closer, heart pounding. I know we're not ready, but I'm still here. Still trying. He nodded. I see that. I reached for his hand. He didn't pull away. Not this time.